Namaste. The third shloka of Soundarya Lahari, Avidyanam Antastimira Mihira Dvipanagari Jadanam Chaitanya Stabaka Makaranta Shrutijhari Daridranam Chintamani Gunanika Janmajaladho Nimagnanam Damshra Muraripu Varahasya Bhavati. This is a kind of a continuation of the second shloka, where the lotus feet of goddess in the second shloka lets out pollen grains, the dust of pollen grains. Here dust should not be mistaken for dirt. It is dust. It's a powdery thing that is coming out of goddess feet. It's not sticking to her feet by walking somewhere. She is not an ordinary human being to be walking on the ground and something sticks to her feet. It's not like that. Acharya says that this dust is coming from her feet, which has to be interpreted as pollen grains since her feet are like lotus. So this shloka has so much of content, and really it's going to be a challenge for me to put everything in a nutshell. The first line, Avidyana Mantastimira Mihira Dvipanagari. So these dust particles that are coming from the lotus-like feet of goddess, they are like the rising sun on an island city. When you stand on the shores of a beach and look at the sunrise, you feel that the sun is coming from the ocean, somewhere far away from the ocean, and it seems like a place, it seems like a township or a city. That's why Acharya has called it like island city. So this dust particles from goddess feet, like how the sunrise dispels the darkness of the previous night, the same way the dust particles from goddess feet, it dispels the ignorance, the darkness of ignorance that is within us, in our body, in our mind, in our hearts. If we pray to her, the dust particles that are coming from her lotus-like feet will dispel the ignorance in ourselves. That is, we are all ignorant. We don't know the self. We are not realizing ourselves. We are believing whatever we see in this world. We are not aware of the truth that is within us. That is the truth. So she will open your eyes to the truth. She will remove the ignorance. The dust particles are like the rising sun which dispels the darkness of the previous night. The second line, Jadanam Chaitanya Stabaka Makaranda Shrutijhari. It is not Shruti, it is Shruti. Shrutijhari means cascading. Jadanam means inert, immobile. People need not be physically immobile. They are mentally lethargic, mentally immobile. There are some people who are very slow to react to certain things. They are insensitive. They don't empathize. They have absolutely no feelings actually. This has nothing to do with literacy. Literacy or expertise in any art or anything. That is a different thing altogether. These are human qualities, something that is innate, inborn, also karmic, I would say. There are people who may be brilliant in so many other areas, but when it comes to certain things, they are totally mentally lethargic. They don't simply get the point. You feel you're talking to a wall or something. They're so insensitive. So it is they don't have a grasp of things, correct grasp of things. So it is inertia. They are inert. Jadanam, they can't be moved. In Telugu they say Korakarani Koya, they say. In English they say hard nut to crack. I don't know in Tamil what they say for that. So it is mental lethargy. So the dust particles that are coming from the lotus feet of the goddess, they form a cluster of flowers, beautiful honey-filled flowers. Chaitanya Stabaka Makaranda Shrutijhari. Chaitanya Stabaka, lively flowers. Chaitanyam is omnipresent. Chaitanyam is Chit. Chaitanyam is also movement. So Chaitanya Stabaka Makaranda Shrutijhari. So these flowers, the cluster of flowers, or you could say bouquet of flowers, they form they're full of honey. They're actually filled with honey. So Shruti Jari, what goddess does, these dust particles, they are like the splash of honey inside an ignorant fool, a dull-witted fool, a fool who doesn't realize, have a grasp of things, who is mentally lethargic. He may be a very qualified person, great, but he doesn't have the integrity or the right grasp of things. So the goddess pollen, the pollen powder that is coming out of her lotus-like feet, they act as a splash of honey that are coming from the bouquet of flowers, and they splash inside the inert fool and make him absolutely intelligent, bestows knowledge, high knowledge in this fool, and make him, instantly a very, very wise person, a very intelligent person, and a knowledgeable person. So that is the power of the dust particles. If that is the power of dust particles, we can imagine the power of goddess. So here for the first line, the dust particles act like the rising sun. In the second line, these dust particles act as splashing honey that come out of a bouquet of flowers. Inside, they splash honey inside a foolish person and make him instantly knowledgeable. And in the third line, Daridranam Chintamani Gunanika. Daridranam, we all know, poverty. Chintamani Gunanika. Gunanika means garland. Chintamani is a wish fulfilling stone. I will make a separate video on Chintamani. It's a very beautiful topic. So this Chintamani, it's a gemstone. Goddess resides in a house that is built of Chintamani. Chintamani Grihantastha Pancha Brahmasanasthita. So she lives in a house that is made of Chintamani gems. So Chintamani, here she is giving not one Chintamani. This Chintamani is so powerful. It's a very beautiful celestial gemstone which yields any wish you ask for, she grants. This Chintamani will grant. These dust particles that are coming from the goddess lotus-like feet is not giving one Chintamani. It is giving a garland of Chintamani gems. A big garland of, if one Chintamani gem has so much power, she is giving a full garland of Chintamani gems through her dust particles to fulfill your wishes. So you attain all riches, all prosperity, landed property, whatever it is you want. Anything that is valuable for you is your property. She will grant each and every abundance. So the third is Daridranam, it is removed. The poverty is removed. In the fourth line, Janma Jaladhau Nimagnanam. Janma Jaladhau is ocean, Samsara Sagaram. This material world, it's an ocean. Actually, Samsara Sagaram we say. Janma Jaladhau Nimagnanam. We are immersed in the ocean of samsaram. If it's an ordinary ocean, we can float in the ocean, but this is an ocean full of gutter. So gutter, it's a dirty ocean. Our material world is a dirty ocean which we believe to be true, which is not true. So we, believing it to be true, we get deeply immersed. We can't even come out. You can imagine a dirty water full of gutter, you just, sink inside. How can you come out? You are inside, that's all. So, Janma Jaladho Nimagnanam Damshtra Muraripu Varahasya Bhavati. So, here the dust particles that are coming out of the goddess lotus-like feet, they are now, the first line is like sunshine. The second line, the dust particles are like the splash of honey. In the third line, the dust particles that are coming from her feet are like Chintamani gems. In the fourth line, the dust particles that are coming out of her feet are like the tusk of a boar of the Varaha Avataram. In Varaha Avataram, Adi Varaha Murti, he dives deep into the ocean and retrieves planet Earth, and on his tusk is actually teeth of all animals, even elephants, rhinoceros, they all have tusk. So this tusk It is like tusk is different from fang. Fang is something an animal uses to attack, whereas tusk is something it is used to protect, retrieve, carry something. So this boar, B-O-A-R, boar, that is Varaha Avataram, immerses in the ocean to carry the the earth on its tusk, and the Varaha Avataram comes out of the ocean. Likewise, the dust particles that are coming out of the lotus feet of the goddess acts like the tusk of Varahamurti. Like how Varahamurti is rescuing the planet Earth, the goddess dust particles rescues us from the ocean of guttery waters. The dust particles are like the tusk of Varahamurti in rescuing us. So as we are immersed in the dirty waters, goddess dust particles will act as tusk of Varahamurti to lift us, to rescue us and lift us out of the ocean, dirty waters, and give us liberation of soul. Grants us moksha. The fourth line is all about moksham, salvation. The first line is Avidyanam antastimira mihira dvipanagari. Like the sunrise bestows knowledge to ignorant people. The second, Jadanam Chaitanya Stavaka Makaranda Srutijari, splash of honey to bestow intellect on a foolish person. The third, bestows riches on a poverty stricken person. And the fourth bestows salvation, liberation to all of us. Here, another point is very beautiful poetic comparison here is the crescent moon on the goddess head. She wears a crescent moon, beautiful, glistening, luminous moon in the night sky. She wears it here. That is likened to, Adi Shankaracharya has likened that crescent moon to the tusk of the boar, which bears the earth. The tusk is also in a kind of semicircle, it's like a crescent shape. And you can imagine when Varaha Avataram comes out of the ocean, he is fully drenched with ocean water, foamy water coming out of his body, carrying a huge, very huge earth. You can imagine the magnitude. Imagine the earth itself is so big, and Varaha Avataram carrying the earth and coming out full of ocean water, the foamy water falling all over, and his tusk is glistening, just like the crescent moon which is on the goddess Sahasrara. So this crescent moon and the tusk of the boar are one and the same. They look alike, and they do the same job, where the tusk rescues the earth, and here the crescent moon goddess through her dust particles rescues all of us from the muddy waters. So this is such a beautiful, absolutely no words. You have to just imagine the poetic imagination of this shloka and how much has been conveyed in this. Actually, what I have told you is a very small nutshell. You can go on and on about this. The benefits are already mentioned in the shloka, what I have already explained. And the most significant benefit of this is one will attain Veda Shastra, Vedanta knowledge by chanting this. Very high intellect you can derive by chanting the shloka. Thank you.